Hi guys, it's Moonhorse. How you doing? It's time to read more stories. Are you ready? I'm ready. Lord, they're gonna be fucking crazy. You know they are. They're always wonderfully strange, and I'm so happy. I love you all so very much. This is from Reddit user PhantomFlower08. The Threats of Mr. Draw. Ooh, spooky. Hi, Uncle Moonhorse.
Hey, baby, how you doing?
I'm a new-time listener to your YouTube, and I'm already in love. You make me and my brothers laugh a lot. Well, I'm so happy that you're here. That makes me feel good that you guys are enjoying this. After listening, I felt compelled to tell my story of an event I recently experienced. To be honest, it still rattles me. Granted, it's not as extreme as some of the other stories, but mentally it's pretty messed up. Shit, I hope you're okay. Here's a small cast of lovely and not so lovely people. Names are changed to protect the parties involved, of course. Phantom. Basically me. You're a friendly, nerdy girl that has lots of hope, a ton of anxieties. I draw a lot to calm myself down. I'm the middle child. Named after my DA account. Sky Samurai. My little brother. He plays an important role of how I got into DeviantArt. He's a weirdo, but a total sweetheart. If it weren't for him, I'd have lost nearly all of my confidence. Named after his DA account. Hawkma! My older brother. He's nice. Bit of weirdo, too. Takes absolutely no shits from anyone. Prone to giving the shittiest advice. Named after his old AOL account before he stopped using it altogether. It was supposed to be Hawkman, but that name was taken. I kind of like how it just kind of devolves into a scream. It's pretty funny. Mr. Draw. I guess you can call him the antagonist of this story, but really I'm not so sure. I never met this person in real life. All I have are the emails with him, so I don't know what's going on at his end. I still don't really want to call him a bad person. I don't know his real name, and I don't want to give out his real DA username. I don't want any more drama with him. You are a very good person for only thinking of trying to protect people. That is very sweet. First, I think it's necessary to explain the origin story of yours truly, and how I got to the position I was in before I met Mr. Draw. Don't worry, I'll try to keep this short. Well, as I mentioned before, I love to draw. I don't exactly remember how I got started. I could do it for as long as I could remember, really. Sure, I wasn't good at the beginning, but like Darwin's theory of evolution, my technique evolved and I would get better. But to the prying eyes of others, not so much. In high school art class, I was the primary bullying target to a group of girls. Holy shit, I'm sorry. They had managed to alienate me from the rest of the class by spreading rumors that I was reading gay tentacle porn manga. I was, and still am, a huge weeb. Especially love the manga Claymore. Sorry if you don't get it, Moonhorse, but to summarize the series, pretty cool dark fantasy manga starring female warriors fighting horrific monsters. I didn't get it, but thank you for explaining it. I obviously wasn't, but because of those girls, I got into a lot of trouble with the teacher. One of their favorite topics to make fun of me was my sketchbook. They would get uncomfortably close and announce to the classroom every little mistake I would make and previous drawings, calling it porn. Seriously, I have no idea why they were hung up on me drawing porn. And one girl called me a filthy slut and dumped a carton of milk on my sketchbook while I was drawing. What a fucking bitch. Oh my god, I'm so sorry you had to go through that. I cried a lot. Understandably, but still, that's fucking horrible. Holy shit, man, I'm so sorry. All of my drawings were ruined beyond repair. As silly as it may seem to others, my sketchbook feels like it's a part of me. It's something I pour my entire being into. Something I took a lot of pride in doing. Have I done some dumb and cringy drawings in the past? Well, yeah, but they're still mine, and I love them very much. And when that girl ruined my sketchbook, it felt like a knife in my heart. Afterwards, I didn't draw for a long time, and when I did, When someone approached me about my drawings, I got scared and quickly hid the book. This feeling did not leave me even after I graduated. I felt everything I drew was a mistake, and I lost a heaping load of confidence. I kept my drawings hidden from everyone, even my own family, who used to shower me with praise when they'd see me draw. That would change later, of course. I'm glad that it got better. Holy shit, man, that's fucked up. That ain't right. I'm sure you're a fucking kick-ass artist. Don't let anybody take your fucking talent away from you, man. I tell that to Sango all the time, and I'm telling it to you too. It's the truth. My little brother Sky Samurai loves to draw too. I'd like to think that he took up drawing because of me, but he never really disclosed why he started. He had a DA account where he would post his drawings. Occasionally, he'd give me some of his drawings to critique them. I help him out, and I took notice that he was uploading his drawings into DeviantArt. He actually asked if I would like help setting up my own DA page. I was against it at first. Those things that those girls from my high school said really did a number on me. I was scared that I was going to see a lot of negative feedback on my pictures. For everyone to see at that. He convinced me to upload a few drawings at first and see how it goes. And that he would be my first watcher and commenter. I really can't say no to him, so I did it. For a few weeks I didn't go on my DA account, fearing what would be waiting for me. When I managed to get over this fear, I was actually surprised to see how many people liked my drawings. I even got a couple of watchers and joined a ton of groups. It was a slow start, yeah, but I was happy there were others who actually liked what I did. And it was because of this that I managed to actually make a few good fellow artist friends. I started talking drawing requests, and that's where the trouble began. Every now and then I would get requests from my watchers. It usually would start up after I uploaded a drawing or two. During this time, I was drawing up fan arts and that kind of stuff. This usually came in the form of Cuphead, Bendy and the Ink Machine, Steven Universe, villainous superheroes, manga anime characters, etc. Sorry again to Moonhorse if I'm not making any sense. Just mark it up to nerdy cartoon mess. No, you're fine, and I understood some of that. So I'm not entirely behind the times, just mostly. I felt like my drawings were too easy. My artistic motto is to try new things and new styles. Maybe I'll mess up, but at least I could grow as an artist. It's a pretty good idea to have, actually. I wanted to draw something a bit more complicated. I meditated on the thought, and when I finally came to a conclusion, I'd draw a xenomorph from Ridley Scott's Alien franchise. I looked up tutorials on how to draw and managed to sketch up a pretty decent xenomorph drone. I uploaded it and shared it within my groups, and I received, some praise. One commented that I should draw an OC for this genre. I took her up on the advice and drew my own original xenomorph. I named Blue, a hulking, gentle giant with dark blue skin color, hence the name. I wanted the practice, so I drew more of this character, usually with a human companion. That is around the time that I met Mr. Draw. Mr. Draw commented on how he also had an original xenomorph. He then asked me to draw him with his original xenomorph. The xenomorph was quite pretty, and, I did it. We became friends after a little while, chatting about, he chatted about mostly army stuff. The type of guns they used, the jets, the caravans, the soldiers, etc. I wasn't even remotely interested in the topic, but I didn't want to be rude, and I really tried hard to carry on this conversation and pretend to be interested. He'd also messaged me, complaining about his family. Again, didn't want to be rude, tried to be sympathetic, tried to bond. From time to time, he would drop in a request for me to draw. And I did, but as time carried on, his requests got a little strange. One time he asked me to draw him and his xenomorph character kissing, about to get intimate. Ugh. I read through that message over and over to make sure I got it right. I'm not sure why, but I felt like I was compelled to look at his profile. I don't know why I didn't before. To my surprise, I see that He didn't really make drawings, he wasn't an artist, mostly screenshots from Gmod with him and a few of his friends. Then look at his favorites tab, and to my shock, I see it was filled to the brim with female humanoid xenomorphs with himself in various stages of intimacy, along with furry, big-titted humanoid Pokemon. He had them in a folder titled simply as Pets. Oh, fuck, I already know where this is going. I'm well aware of the darkest corners of DeviantArt. Oh, I'm not sure you are. The cringe-inducing art are forever burned into my brain. I don't really see the appeal, but I don't judge. As long as it's not underage boys and girls, and I'm not going to complain too hard. I've received at least 2 requests of that nature, and honestly, I was not comfortable drawing such as a subject. I let him know that I was uncomfortable doing the request, and it took him a while to respond. When he did, he just said, fine. I felt a little guilty putting down his request for a while, but the next day he came to me with a new request, one a little less gross. There was a little crossover with my xenomorph character and his. I thought it'd be fun, so I said yeah. As I carried on about my day, I would occasionally be alerted to DA messages from him, telling me how much his xenomorph is in love with him and how much he loves her back. I'm a little uneasy, but again, I don't judge. For the past 3 days or so, Mr. Draw would message me with a brand new request with him and one of his other characters. I told him nicely he needs to slow down and that he'd have to wait, since he's not the only person who wanted a request from me, and that I also had a life and a job outside of DA. He didn't message me for a few hours. When he did, he asked me if I hated him. Honestly, I have no idea where that came from. I thought for a moment that maybe I sounded too harsh in my last message. I calmly and nicely told him that he was rushing a bit too much with his request and he'd kind of have to wait. I had to wait for an hour until he replied with, okay. After that, the day went on like usual. I thought the problem was solved. That is until the next day. Mr. Draw would resume what he did before, giving me request after request while I was working on the ones at hand. I reminded him of what I asked yesterday. He messaged me back, listing reasons why people don't like him. I assured him it's not true and tried to be a good online friend with him. He quickly returned to normal and started to talk about his various pets. Occasionally, he would spam me with kitten videos, which I'll admit I enjoyed. Alien lore, army facts, the normal stuff. This kind of back and forth went on for about a month. I finished all my requests, including a lot of his drawings. Thankfully, he took the hint about me not wanting to draw the NSFW stuff. Things were slowing down on my page, and frankly, I was in a rut with what to draw next. Blasted artist block. I posted for drawing ideas for my watchers, asking them what would be fun to draw. Most of the posts were, or I don't know. Mr. Draw posted that I should draw more xenomorphs. Honestly, I'm getting sick of drawing xenomorphs. I've done so many, mainly for him, so I skipped over his idea in favor of another poster. Yeah, this was my mistake. The very next day, he messaged me a very long tirade of reasons why people don't really like him. Why other artists get commissions, trades, and requests, and not him. How everyone was having fun, and not him. He also complained that no one draws for him. I beg your fucking pardon. I was annoyed, but when I was going to remind him that I was drawing for him, for free, I might add, he messaged me once more stating that he was going to kill himself. My heart sank. Moonhorse is suddenly angry because he understands where this is going. I knew at least 2 people who committed suicide. One was a classmate from high school, and another was my great-uncle. Needless to say, I take suicide very seriously. I kind of freaked out. I tried everything I could think of to talk him out of it, and to get help. He would occasionally respond with, "You're only saying this because you hate me," or goes off listing the reasons why he was jealous of other artists and why no one likes him. I doubled down and practically screamed at him in all caps not to do it and to get help. He didn't message me for the rest of the day. Needless to say, I kind of freaked out more. I mean, what if he actually logged off to hurt himself? I didn't want to bother my parents with this information and told my older brother, Hawkma, for advice, and showed him the messages, and he gave me this look. The best I could describe it now would be, is this asshole for real? Look. He gave me a shrug and told me that if Mr. Draw is going to do it, let him. Don't be too harsh on him. My brother is really a good guy, and he speaks pretty harshly at times. Put a pin in that. I was actually pretty appalled by what he suggested. In my heart, I felt responsible for leading Mr. Draw down this path of self-harm. I felt like a shitty friend, and I thought that I could have done more. After my talk with my brother, I was glued to my computer screen, hoping, praying that he would log on and let me know things are alright. He did log on the next day, and his recent message sent me for a loop. It wasn't anything explicit or sexual or gross or violent anyway. He started his message like how we usually start our conversations, with him talking about the Marines and alien lore. And I was relieved that he logged on, yeah, but the fact that he's talking to me like what happened last night just didn't happen floored me. I didn't jump to conclusions right away. Some people with mental issues try to obtain normalcy and avoid the topic altogether. That's what I thought. I asked him how he's doing, and if he was having any of those sort of suicidal thoughts. He ignored my question and asked me if I'd draw our characters together again. I once again told him he needs to get help. He played dumb and asked for what. In response, I sent the email he sent me yesterday and added that if he has this sort of thinking, that he should probably get help. He brushed me off again and goes off telling me details about the Marines and Aliens vs. Predator video games. I had to put my foot down and double down again. I pleaded and begged him to try and get help or open up at least a little bit. He has an excuse for everything. I told him he needs to tell his parents. He tells me that they hated him and are pieces of shit. I remember him saying he had siblings and told him to open up to them. He told me that he hated them and that he hoped they all die. His friends? He went off telling me that nobody likes him and they all hated him and no one wanted to be his friend. The police? He told me they don't do anything and that they would put him in a psych ward. Hell, I even gave him the number of the suicide hotline. He told me numbers don't work where he's from. What? He demanded that I left it alone and tried to change topics again. Being emotional, anxiety-ridden, crybaby, I just couldn't. He messaged me back telling me just to block him. It was too much drama for me. His words. I didn't want to do that, but I opened up about my mental issues, that I was like him at one point. I got help, and it made things a little better. He told me that he doesn't need it, and that my problems were all dumb and too emotional. Okay, ow. That did hurt a bit, but I chalked it up to him lashing out. It's not easy opening up to others. I was running out of options. After all, I'm not a professional. I didn't know what to do next. I turned to one of my close watchers on DA who told me to report him. The way this person described it, if he's reported, then DA would act by alerting the local authorities in his area of the situation. Little did I realize that this is on a public group chat. He saw me and my friend talking. He messaged me telling me not to report him. He believed that he was going to get banned. If I carried out the process and he got banned, he'd hurt himself. That was the push I needed to report his suicidal threats. I told him that I had done it. What followed were lots of angry messages and him screaming at me in all caps. He told me that he was going to be arrested and sent to prison because of me, and that his parents are going to kill him because they don't like cops. I tried to be calm about it and inform him that he's going to get professional help from medical professionals, more trained than my 20-year-old self was. According to him, I was making things worse. His final message of the day was that I was mad at him, again, and that his greatest fear that I was going to block him, and that he can't ask me for any more art because I hated him so much. It finally dawned on me. I was too stupid not to see. He just wanted me to draw for him. All of the antics were him trying to get me to give him art. I felt used and upset. A huge part of me didn't want to believe it. This was confirmed the next day when he asked me to draw for him again. I was tired and I didn't care anymore. I told him not to message me anymore. His response was short, but cut really deep. Sad, no free art anymore, sad face. He messaged me once more a couple of days later to tell me that he found someone else to draw for him for free, and that I was a shitty person and a horrible friend. He unfollowed me, and I haven't spoken with him since. Ever since then, I don't bother taking requests from people who ask. When I think about going back in, I remember this incident and feel like shit all over again. I often come to question myself that maybe I am a horrible person. Maybe I could have done something better with the situation. Well, regardless, I've learned from this situation, grown as a person, and I promised myself not to take that kind of garbage from anyone like that ever again. Let me tell you something. Listen closely here, my friend. And this goes for all of you out there who are getting into the creative community. Whether it's a YouTube video, art, music, anything creative. I am a little out of it, so I can't really think of all the other things. Phantom Flower, this goes to you, and I have said this to Songo as well. This guy, let me tell you about this guy. Alright? Mr. Draw is a fucking user. And people like that are only out to get what they want. See, I knew there was going to be trouble when you told me you were on DeviantArt. DeviantArt, while it's a good place to show off some of the stuff you do, it's also a good place to attract a bunch of fucking weirdos. There are a lot of weirdos on DeviantArt. So, this guy sounds like a fetishist who really wanted porn of his character and wanted it for free. There are so many people like that. It's horrible, but it's true. I've fucking seen him. And he may see this video, and he may get mad at me. And personally, I don't care. Honey, let me explain some shit. Moonhorse is going to drop some fucking science on you. I'm also going to have a little bit of a drink here. So, there are a lot of people like that. There are so many people like that in this life and in this world who are only concerned with getting what they want. Especially the fact that he had to point out over and over that he was getting stuff for free. Yeah, see, a lot of artists who... And this is really an artist thing specifically. Not so much a video thing. Sometimes a video thing. Sometimes a music thing. A lot of times it has to do with art. A lot of artists get inundated with motherfuckers like that who really want you to draw their particular vision of porn for them. They really, really want that. However, they also really, really don't want to pay you for your talents and services, because that's what it is. Talents and services. You know the old adage, if you're good at something, don't do it for free. This guy was basically emotionally manipulating you. He's a fucking asshole. I realize you're a good person, and you won't want to say that. In fact, you may not be able to say that because you're a good person, and that's not a thing that you would say. I've had this conversation with Songo too. There are a lot of people in her life who she doesn't like, but they're good people, and she loves them. And this, this guy may not be the best person to you personally, but you are a good person, and you don't want to say anything bad. So on behalf of you, Songo, and many of the others who are incapable of saying this, allow me to say it for you. That guy's a fucking cunt! I used the most offensive word I could possibly think of. And yes, he deserves it, because he is. He emotionally manipulated you into doing shit that you really were not comfortable with, and constantly tried to needle you in order to get you to do stuff that you're more not comfortable with. And yeah, he would have continued that. The suicide thing, he was never going to kill himself. Okay, this is a hard topic, but I'm going to tell you guys seriously. Because this needs to be said. This is the only reason I'm saying this, okay? People who are seriously going to harm themselves, especially in a way that they want to end their own lives, are not going to fucking announce it to people like that. Okay? I'm not going to go into details on how I know this. Let's just say I've had some bad parts of my life. But, before you worry, and I mean this, listen to me, before you start worrying, I am fucking fine. I came out of that shit like a goddamn champion. I'm swinging with both fists and I ain't slowing down. This motherfucker knows that he can manipulate people by saying that shit. This motherfucker will say that shit to get what he wants. I am, unlike a lot of videos, Moonhorse is pretty upset about this too. Okay, there are a lot of videos I get really mad, but this motherfucker rubs me in a wrong way on all the wrong reasons. This guy's a fucking asshole. To say that shit, to do that shit. And honestly, your brother who told you to just ignore him, that he's probably talking bullshit and you should just ignore him, as much as I know, because you're a good person, you don't want to say this, you don't want to think that, I'll tell you, he's right. He's absolutely right. That motherfucker knew it. And Mr. Draw, this fucking cunt over here, he's a fucking liar. He'll do that shit. Motherfuckers like that will do that shit. They'll say that, I can't live, I'm gonna kill myself because you're not doing the thing I want you to do. That's called emotional manipulation. He ain't gonna do no more than it's gonna fucking rain on Mars. It ain't gonna happen. Motherfucker's a liar. He was never intending to do it, which is the reason why he tried to sweep it under the rug the minute you started talking to him after he went on that fucking diatribe. Right? The minute you came back, the minute he shows up and he's going to talk to you again, oh, it's like it never happened. Yeah, because he wants to pretend it never happened. Because you might question him. You might call him out. You might be like, yo, bro, what the fuck was that shit? I seen that fucking game before. Oh yeah, I seen that game many a fucking time. He's full of shit. Do not. Phantom Flower, this is me talking directly to you. This is your Uncle Moonhorse talking directly to you. Do not let this motherfucker get to you. He's a liar. He's a piece of shit. People like that will do that kind of shit all the time. Fucking assholes like that exist all over the place. Personally, I'll give you some advice, and this goes for everybody too. If you know a motherfucker like this, you know someone like this, you know someone who starts doing this shit, that use these shit where they, oh, you know, everything's so horrible unless you're doing what I want you to do. Any of that fucking emotional, mental manipulation shit, right? They're doing that shit. This is what you need to do right now. Listen to me right now. These motherfuckers who are doing that, whatever platform you're on, go to their profile, pull down the information, block them. Don't say nothing. Block them. And if they know you on some other account, anything else they know you on, block them on that too. And if they message you on something you didn't think they had, block them again. Cut that shit out of your fucking life. You are better than that. These negative motherfuckers will suck the life out of you. I have dealt with too many of them in my life, and I know that you guys are having to deal with them too. They're fucking horrible. You don't deserve that. You are a good person. All of you. You are amazing, wonderful people. You deserve better than that shit. 10 times better than that shit. 20 times better than that shit. 100 fucking times better than this bullshit. Do not let them draw you down. You are better than that. You're a million times more talented, a million times smarter, a million times more caring, and a million times more amazing than that shit. I know this. Inside my heart, I know this shit. Block these motherfuckers. Cut them out of your life. It'll hurt at first because you think you're hurting somebody. But I promise you, you will grow and become better once they are gone. I've had to do this shit myself. I wouldn't tell you to do it if I hadn't done it myself. It hurts. It's true. Because you're very, very compassionate. You have a lot of emotion and goodness in your heart. And you only want good for everybody. And I wish I didn't have to be the person to tell you this. And I really hope someone can prove me wrong. I do. When it comes to this. But there ain't goodness in everybody. Some people are only concerned with themselves. They absolutely will be a absolute shit. They will ruin things for everybody. I know there are people who say there's good in everybody, and I hope you're right. I hope I'm wrong, and I hope you're right. But so far, I gotta be honest with you, I ain't seeing it. I see good in a lot of people, but there's still some motherfuckers out there who are made of goddamn garbage. This motherfucker, this Mr. Draw, he's one of them. He's a fucking asshole. And you deserve better than that. So seriously, Phantom Flower, block this motherfucker on everything. If he makes another account and tries to talk to you again, block him again. Don't say a word. That's the fucking main thing. This goes for all of you. If you got somebody in your life like that that's negative, that's fucking up your shit, that only wants to talk to you when they want something, you know, the using motherfucker, block them. They message you on something else, they get another account, they do some other shit, block them again. Say nothing. Keep blocking them. Say nothing. You don't owe them your time. You do not owe them your words. You do not owe them your talent. You are better than that. Alright? I love you guys, and I mean that. You're fucking amazing, every single one of you. You're incredible people, and I love you all. And this is the end of the video, but I want you to remember that shit about how amazing you are, and to cut negative motherfuckers out of your life. I know it's hard, but I know you can do it. And if you ever need to talk to somebody, this whole community's here. I'm here. There's a Discord server. I'm always on that shit. You can message me on Reddit if you need to. Do not be afraid to talk about your problems. You can get help. Things can get better. But holding on to negative motherfuckers like that just ain't gonna fucking fix it, man. It ain't gonna do it. So thank you all for being here. I love you all so very much. You guys are great. This is a really long video. I kind of went on a tangent. But it needed to be said. So, if you have your own stories and you want to send them to me, you can send them to r/Moonhorse Stories. I will check it. I see it every day. If you'd like to send me, that didn't come out right. If you'd like to keep the lights on in this place, you can do that by donating to Patreon, or you can buy something from the merch store. I would absolutely love you if you could do both, but I understand if you can't do either one. I still love you no matter what. And every Saturday there is a stream. Sometimes Song goes in there with me. Sometimes she's not. It's up to her. And it's up to you guys if you want to come see it. I love you guys so very much. Don't ever forget that. You're all wonderful, amazing people. And I'll see you in the next video, okay? Bye.